Welcome back to Relaxing English Listening. I'm glad you're here today. Maybe you've been learning English for a long time. Maybe you've watched hundreds of videos, studied grammar, memorized vocabulary, and even understood most of what native speakers say. But when someone asks you a simple question, your mind suddenly goes blank. You know the words, you know the grammar, yet the sentence doesn't come out naturally. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. Many English learners don't struggle because they lack vocabulary. They struggle because they haven't trained themselves to use English naturally in real situations. The good news is that you don't need to speak fast. You don't need a perfect accent. You don't need complicated words. You only need clear thoughts, natural phrases, and enough practice to make English feel comfortable. Today we're going to do exactly that. We're going to step into real-life situations together. You'll hear natural English. You'll repeat useful phrases. You'll learn how native speakers actually talk. And little by little, you'll begin thinking in English instead of translating everything in your head. Before we begin, take a slow breath, relax your shoulders, grab a cup of coffee if you'd like, and let's spend the next few minutes building your English naturally. Imagine it's early morning. Your alarm just went off. The room is quiet. Sunlight is slowly coming through the window. You reach for your phone and check the time. 7:03 a.m. For a moment you stare at the ceiling. You know you need to get up, but honestly, you don't feel ready yet. Maybe you've had mornings like this before. Let's start with a simple sentence. Basic English. I'm tired. Very common. Very useful. But native speakers often make it sound a little more natural. Instead they might say, I'm a little tired today. Repeat after me, slowly. I'm a little tired today. Good. One more time. I'm a little tired today. Now say it naturally. I'm a little tired today. Notice the rhythm. Native speakers rarely put pressure on every word. They relax. They flow. Now let's upgrade it again. Instead of, I'm tired, you can say, I'm a bit drained, but I'm trying to stay focused. Listen carefully. I'm a bit drained, but I'm trying to stay focused. Repeat after me. I'm a bit drained, but I'm trying to stay focused. Again. I'm a bit drained, but I'm trying to stay focused. This sounds much more natural in real life. Drained means you have very little energy left. Maybe physically, maybe mentally, maybe both. Now imagine you're standing in your kitchen. The coffee machine is running. You can smell fresh coffee. You take your first sip. And suddenly, things start feeling a little better. A native speaker might say, I could really use some coffee. Listen again. I could really use some coffee. This is extremely common. Native speakers say this all the time. Repeat after me. I could really use some coffee. Again. I could really use some coffee. Now try it with a little emotion. I could really use some coffee. Perfect. Notice something important. Most learners say, I want coffee. That's correct. But native speakers often say, I could use some coffee. It sounds softer, more natural, more conversational. Imagine your roommate walks into the kitchen. They look at you and laugh. Wow. You look exhausted. And you answer, yeah, I didn't sleep very well. Repeat after me. Yeah, I didn't sleep very well. Again. Yeah, I didn't sleep very well. Now let's make it sound even more natural. Yeah, I had a pretty restless night. Listen carefully. Restless night. Repeat. I had a pretty restless night. Again. I had a pretty restless night. A restless night means you slept badly. Maybe you woke up several times. Maybe your mind wouldn't stop thinking. Maybe you just couldn't get comfortable. Let's practice a short conversation. Listen first. How are you feeling this morning? Honestly, I'm a bit drained. Didn't sleep well. Yeah, I had a pretty restless night. Need some coffee? Definitely. I could really use some coffee. Now, let's do it again. Listen to the rhythm. How are you feeling this morning? Honestly, I'm a bit drained. Didn't sleep well. Yeah, I had a pretty restless night. Need some coffee? Definitely. I could really use some coffee. That's how real conversations sound. Short, natural, relaxed, not perfect, not textbook, just real. Take a moment and think about your own mornings. How do you usually feel when you wake up? Now it's your turn. Create a simple sentence in your mind. Maybe, I'm usually pretty tired in the morning. Or, I wake up feeling energized. Or, I need coffee before I can think. Good. Every small sentence you create is training your brain to think in English. And that's exactly what we want. A few minutes later, you're getting dressed for work. You check your calendar. Several meetings. A few deadlines. Lots of tasks waiting for you. Maybe you've had mornings like this. You look at your schedule and think, it's going to be a busy day. That's natural. But native speakers often say, I've got a lot on my plate today. Listen carefully. I've got a lot on my plate today. Repeat after me. I've got a lot on my plate today. Again. I've got a lot on my plate today. This phrase doesn't mean actual food. It means you have many responsibilities, many things to do. Native speakers use this phrase constantly. Imagine you're texting a friend. They ask, want to grab lunch later? You answer, I'd love to, but I've got a lot on my plate today. Repeat after me. I'd love to, but I've got a lot on my plate today. Again, I'd love to, but I've got a lot on my plate today. Notice how natural that sounds. Now let's continue. You put on your shoes. You grab your bag. You look around the apartment one last time. Then you say, all right, let's get going. This is another phrase native speakers use every day. Let's get going. Repeat. Let's get going. Again. Let's get going. Simple. Natural. Useful. You can use it before leaving the house. Before starting a project. Before beginning a trip. Anywhere. Now, let's build a slightly longer response. Imagine. Someone asks, ready for the day? Instead of saying, yes, you could say, I'm still a little tired, but I'm ready to get going. Repeat after me. I'm still a little tired, but I'm ready to get going. Again. I'm still a little tired, but I'm ready to get going. That sounds like real English. Natural English. The kind of English you'll hear every day. Take another slow breath. Notice how many useful phrases you've already learned. A bit drained. Restless night. I could use some coffee. I've got a lot on my plate. Let's get going. And the best part, these aren't fancy expressions. They're practical. You can use them today. Maybe even in your next conversation. As you leave your apartment building and step outside, the morning air feels cool and fresh. People are walking to work. Cars are moving through the streets. Someone nearby is talking on the phone. The city is waking up. And something interesting is about to happen. Your phone suddenly vibrates. A new message appears on the screen. It's from a coworker. The message is short. Hey, can you help me with something before the meeting? You pause for a second. You haven't even arrived at work yet. And already, the day is getting interesting. Let's see what happens next. The message sits on your screen for a moment. Hey, can you help me with something before the meeting? You stare at it while walking toward the office. Maybe you've experienced this before. The day hasn't even started properly, and already someone needs your help. You take a sip of coffee. You smile a little. And then you type back. Sure. What's up? Listen carefully. What's up? 3 simple words. Native speakers use this phrase constantly. It doesn't literally mean something is above you. It's simply another way of saying, what's happening? What's the problem? What do you need? Repeat after me. What's up? Again. What's up? Now say it naturally. What's up? Good. A few seconds later, another message arrives. I'm having trouble with the presentation. You can almost hear the stress through the phone. Let's pause here for a moment. Many learners know the word problem, but native speakers often use I'm having trouble with. Listen again. I'm having trouble with the presentation. Repeat after me. I'm having trouble with the presentation. Again. I'm having trouble with the presentation. Now try it smoothly. I'm having trouble with the presentation. Excellent. Notice how natural that sounds. You could use this phrase almost anywhere. I'm having trouble with my computer. I'm having trouble sleeping. I'm having trouble concentrating. I'm having trouble finding the right words. Very useful. Very common. Very real. As you approach the office building, you send another message. No worries, I'll take a look. Listen carefully. No worries. I'll take a look. These are 2 expressions native speakers use every day. Repeat after me. No worries. Again. No worries. One more time. No worries. Now the second phrase. I'll take a look. Repeat. I'll take a look. Again. I'll take a look. When native speakers say, I'll take a look, they don't mean they will only use their eyes. They mean, I'll check. I'll help. I'll see what's happening. Now imagine you're walking into the office. The elevator doors open. People are arriving. Some look energetic. Others look like they need another cup of coffee. You step into the meeting room. Your coworker Sarah is already there. She looks relieved when she sees you. Hey! Thanks for coming early. You smile. No problem. That's correct. But here's a more natural response. Of course. Or, happy to help. Repeat after me. Happy to help. Again. Happy to help. Now say it naturally. Happy to help. This phrase sounds warm, friendly, professional, and very common. Sarah opens her laptop. Something's not working. You lean forward. What seems to be the issue? This is a slightly more professional phrase. Listen carefully. What seems to be the issue? Repeat after me. What seems to be the issue? Again. What seems to be the issue? Now, naturally, what seems to be the issue? Very good. But in casual conversation, most people simply ask, what's going on? Repeat. What's going on? Again. What's going on? Both are useful. One is more professional. One is more casual. Now let's listen to a short conversation. Hey, thanks for helping. Of course. Happy to help. I'm having trouble with the presentation. What's going on? The charts disappeared. Really? Yeah. I don't know what happened. Okay. Let me take a look. Notice the rhythm. Short. Natural. Relaxed. Let's try a useful phrase that native speakers use constantly. Give me a second. Listen carefully. Give me a second. Repeat after me. Give me a second. Again. Give me a second. This doesn't literally mean 1 second. It could mean 10 seconds, 30 seconds, 1 minute. It's simply a polite way to ask for a little time. Now, let's upgrade it. Instead of, wait, try, give me a second. Much softer, much more natural. Let's practice. Give me a second. Again. Give me a second. Excellent. Sarah watches while you check the file. A moment later, you discover the problem. A link was broken. One small mistake. That's all. You smile. I think I found it. Listen carefully. I think I found it. Repeat. I think I found it. Again. I think I found it. Notice something important. Native speakers often say, I think, even when they're fairly sure. It sounds softer, less aggressive, more conversational. Now imagine, Sarah looks surprised. Wait, seriously. This phrase is extremely common. Native speakers use it all the time. Repeat after me. Wait, seriously. Again. Wait, seriously. Try it with emotion. Wait, seriously. Good. Notice the surprise, the curiosity, the reaction. Real English conversations are full of emotional reactions like this. Not long textbook sentences. Small reactions. Small responses. That's what makes conversations sound alive. A few moments later, the presentation works again. Sarah smiles. Oh wow, that fixed it. You reply. Looks like it. Listen carefully. Looks like it. Repeat after me. Looks like it. Again. Looks like it. Native speakers often shorten sentences. Instead of saying, it looks like that fixed the problem, they simply say, looks like it. Short. Natural. Efficient. This is something you'll hear every day. Let's do another conversation. I think I found it. Wait, seriously? Yeah. Looks like it. Wow. That's a relief. Happy to help. Listen to how easy it feels. Real English often sounds simple. The challenge isn't complexity. The challenge is naturalness. Take a moment. Think about your own workplace, or your school, or your daily life. Has someone ever asked for your help unexpectedly? What would you say? Maybe. Sure. What's up? Or, give me a second. Or, I'll take a look. Now it's your turn. Say one sentence quietly. Imagine someone needs help. How would you respond? Good. That's exactly how fluency develops. One small response at a time. A few minutes later, more coworkers begin arriving. The room becomes noisier. Someone is laughing near the coffee machine. Someone else is rushing through emails. The energy is changing. The workday is officially starting. One coworker walks by and says, "Looks like we're in for a busy day." Listen carefully. We're in for a busy day. Repeat after me. We're in for a busy day. Again. We're in for a busy day. This phrase means something is probably going to happen. Usually something challenging. You can say, "We're in for a long meeting." "We're in for some bad weather." "We're in for an interesting afternoon." Very useful. Very natural. A moment later, your manager enters the room. Everyone becomes a little quieter. The meeting will begin soon. You check your notes. You check your calendar. You take a deep breath. Maybe you've experienced this feeling before. Not nervous exactly. Just trying to get ready. A native speaker might say, "I think we're all set." Listen carefully. We're all set. Repeat after me. We're all set. Again. We're all set. This means everything is ready. Everything is prepared. Nothing else is needed. Let's practice. The presentation is ready. We're all set. The room is prepared. We're all set. The documents are finished. We're all set. Excellent. Notice how practical these expressions are. You can use them immediately. Today. Tomorrow. At work. At school. In daily conversations. Every small phrase you learn creates another connection in your brain. Little by little, English starts feeling familiar. Little by little, you stop translating. Little by little, you begin responding naturally. That's the goal. Not perfection. Not speed. Natural communication. The meeting is about to begin. People are finding their seats. Laptops are opening. Coffee cups are being set down on the table. The room grows quieter. And just before the meeting starts, your phone lights up again. This time, it's not a coworker. It's a message from an old friend. Someone you haven't spoken to in quite a while. The message is short. "Hey, are you free for lunch today?" You smile. Because the next conversation is about to become much more personal. And you'll learn some of the most common phrases native speakers use when catching up with friends. You look at the message again. "Hey, are you free for lunch today?" For a second, you forget about deadlines, meetings, and presentations. The name on your screen brings back memories. It's Jake, an old friend you haven't seen in months. Maybe even longer. You smile. And without thinking too much, you type back, "Yeah, I think I can make it." Listen carefully. I think I can make it. Repeat after me. I think I can make it. Again. I think I can make it. Native speakers use this phrase all the time. It doesn't mean physically creating something. It means, I can come. I can be there. My schedule allows it. Very natural. Very useful. A few seconds later, Jake replies, "Awesome. It's been a while." Listen carefully. It's been a while. Repeat after me. It's been a while. Again. It's been a while. One more time. It's been a while. This is one of the most common phrases native speakers use when they haven't seen someone for a long time. Imagine meeting an old classmate. Imagine seeing a former coworker. Imagine running into an old friend. You can simply say, "It's been a while." Natural. Friendly. Easy. As the morning passes, you finish your work and head to a small cafe across town. The lunch crowd is beginning to arrive. Coffee cups clink softly. People chat quietly. The smell of fresh sandwiches fills the air. You spot Jake sitting near the window. He waves. You walk over, and the first thing he says is, "Wow. It's really good to see you." Listen carefully. It's really good to see you. Repeat after me. It's really good to see you. Again. It's really good to see you. Now say it naturally. It's really good to see you. Good. This sounds much warmer than simply saying, "Hello." Now, listen to the conversation. "Hey. Wow. It's really good to see you." "Yeah. It's been a while." "Definitely." "How've you been?" Pause there. How've you been? Native speakers use this constantly. Repeat after me. How've you been? Again. How've you been? Notice the pronunciation. Not, how have you been? But, how have you been? Faster, smoother, more natural. Now, let's practice answering. Many learners automatically say, I'm fine, and that's okay. But native speakers often use more interesting responses. For example, pretty good. Repeat, pretty good. Again, pretty good. Or, can't complain. Listen carefully. Can't complain. Repeat after me. Can't complain. Again, can't complain. This phrase doesn't mean your life is perfect. It simply means, things are okay. Things are going reasonably well. Native speakers love this expression. Let's practice. How have you been? Can't complain. How have things been? Pretty good, actually. How have you been? Not bad. These are real-life responses. The kind you'll hear every day. Now imagine Jake asks another question. So what have you been up to? Listen carefully. What have you been up to? Repeat after me. What have you been up to? Again. What have you been up to? This phrase means, what have you been doing recently? What's new in your life? How have you been spending your time? It's extremely common. Native speakers say it constantly. Let's practice. What have you been up to lately? What have you been up to? Not much. Just working a lot. Notice that answer. Not much. Just working a lot. Very natural. Very conversational. Now repeat after me. Not much. Just working a lot. Again. Not much. Just working a lot. Imagine you're sitting across from a friend. The conversation feels comfortable. No pressure. No need for perfect grammar. Just communication. That's exactly how native speakers talk most of the time. Jake takes a sip of coffee. Then he laughs. You always said you were busy. You laugh too. Yeah. Pretty much. Listen carefully. Pretty much. Repeat after me. Pretty much. Again. Pretty much. This phrase means, basically, yes. More or less. That's correct. Native speakers use it constantly. Let's practice. Are you still working at the same company? Pretty much. Do you still drink too much coffee? Pretty much. Are you still busy all the time? Yeah, pretty much. Notice how relaxed it sounds. Now let's continue the conversation. Jake leans back. So are you enjoying your job? This is a question many people ask. Maybe you've heard it before. Maybe someone will ask you tomorrow. A basic answer might be, yes. But let's make it more natural. You could say, yeah, overall I like it. Repeat after me. Yeah, overall I like it. Again. Yeah, overall I like it. Or, it's challenging, but I enjoy it. Listen carefully. It's challenging, but I enjoy it. Repeat. It's challenging, but I enjoy it. Again. It's challenging, but I enjoy it. This answer sounds thoughtful, balanced, natural. Now let's upgrade it one more step. It's challenging sometimes, but I'm learning a lot. Repeat after me. It's challenging sometimes, but I'm learning a lot. Again. It's challenging sometimes, but I'm learning a lot. Notice how much more interesting that sounds than simply saying, it's good. Native speakers often add a little detail, a little feeling, a little context. That's what makes conversations engaging. The waiter arrives with lunch. Plates are set on the table. The cafe grows bushier. More voices fill the room. A group nearby bursts into laughter. For a moment, the atmosphere feels warm and alive. Jake suddenly asks, do you remember that road trip we took years ago? Immediately, a memory comes back. And without thinking, you say, oh wow. I almost forgot about that. Listen carefully. I almost forgot about that. Repeat after me. I almost forgot about that. Again. I almost forgot about that. This phrase appears constantly in everyday conversations. Native speakers use it whenever a memory suddenly returns. Let's practice. I almost forgot about that. Wow, I almost forgot. I almost forgot that happened. Very useful. Very natural. The conversation continues. Stories. Memories. Funny mistakes. Unexpected moments. And notice something important. Neither person is speaking perfectly. Nobody is trying to sound impressive. Nobody is using complicated vocabulary. They're simply connecting. That's what real English is. Communication. First. Perfection. Second, take a moment and think about that. Many learners believe they need advanced grammar before speaking. But native speakers don't wait for perfect sentences. They communicate with what they have. And little by little, fluency grows. Now, let's do a short shadowing exercise. Repeat after me slowly. It's been a while. How've you been? Can't complain. What have you been up to? Pretty much. It's challenging, but I'm learning a lot. I almost forgot about that. Good. Now say them again. A little more naturally. Imagine you're talking to a real friend. Not reading. Not studying. Talking. It's been a while. How've you been? Can't complain. What have you been up to? Pretty much. It's challenging, but I'm learning a lot. I almost forgot about that. Excellent. You're training something very important right now. Not just vocabulary. Not just pronunciation. You're training conversational rhythm. The ability to respond naturally. Without translating. Without stopping. Without overthinking. The lunch break begins to feel shorter. You glance at your watch. Time passed quickly. That's usually a sign of a good conversation. Jake notices too. Wow. Where did the time go? Listen carefully. Where did the time go? Repeat after me. Where did the time go? Again. Where did the time go? Native speakers say this whenever time passes faster than expected. Very common. Very useful. You smile. I was thinking the same thing. Repeat after me. I was thinking the same thing. Again. I was thinking the same thing. This phrase creates connection. It shows agreement. It shows understanding. Simple. Natural. Human. As lunch comes to an end, Jake gathers his things. Before leaving, he says, "We should do this again sometime." Listen carefully. We should do this again sometime. Repeat after me. We should do this again sometime. Again. We should do this again sometime. This is one of the most common phrases people use when ending a pleasant conversation. And whether it's next week or next month, it leaves the interaction on a positive note. You stand up. You say goodbye. And as you walk back toward the office, something feels different. Maybe you're still busy. Maybe you still have work waiting. But the day feels lighter somehow. A good conversation can do that. A few minutes later, your phone vibrates again. This time, it's not work. It's not an old friend. It's a message from a group chat. Several friends are planning something for the weekend. The messages are arriving quickly. Ideas, suggestions, questions. And you're about to learn some of the most useful phrases native speakers use when making plans together. As you walk back toward the office, your phone keeps vibrating. One message, then another, then 3 more. You glance down and see the name of the group chat. A group of close friends. The conversation is moving fast. Ideas are flying everywhere. Someone wants to go hiking. Someone wants to visit a nearby town. Someone else is suggesting a beach trip. You smile. The workday suddenly feels a little easier, knowing there's something fun to look forward to. Maybe you've experienced this feeling before. A busy week. A full schedule. And then someone says, "We should do something this weekend." Immediately, your mood improves. Let's step into this situation together. One of your friends sends a message. Anyone up for a day trip on Saturday? Listen carefully. Anyone up for a day trip on Saturday? Repeat after me. Anyone up for a day trip on Saturday? Again. Anyone up for a day trip on Saturday? Native speakers use up for constantly. It means interested in, willing to do, excited about. For example, are you up for pizza tonight? Are you up for a movie? Are you up for a walk? Very common. Very natural. Now repeat. I'm up for it. Again. I'm up for it. One more time. I'm up for it. Excellent. Notice how much more natural that sounds than simply saying, yes. Now the messages continue. One friend replies, I'm down for that. Listen carefully. I'm down for that. Repeat after me. I'm down for that. Again. I'm down for that. This is an extremely common phrase. Native speakers use it all the time. It means, that sounds good. I'm interested. Count me in. Let's practice. Want to grab dinner later? I'm down for that. Want to go hiking? I'm down for that. Want to check out the new cafe? I'm down for that. Good. Now imagine the group chat becomes more active. Messages are arriving every few seconds. Someone says, "What about the lake?" Another person says, "That sounds fun." Listen carefully. That sounds fun. Repeat after me. That sounds fun. Again. That sounds fun. Simple. Useful. Natural. Native speakers say this constantly. Let's upgrade it slightly. That sounds like a lot of fun. Repeat. That sounds like a lot of fun. Again. That sounds like a lot of fun. Now, imagine you're reading the suggestions. Some ideas sound great. Others don't. And this creates an important learning opportunity. Many English learners struggle when they disagree. They think they need to say, "No." But native speakers often sound softer. For example, "I'm not sure about that." Listen carefully. "I'm not sure about that." Repeat after me. "I'm not sure about that." Again. "I'm not sure about that." This phrase is useful because it sounds polite, friendly, relaxed, not aggressive. Let's practice. What do you think about camping? I'm not sure about that. What about leaving at 5 in the morning? I'm not sure about that. What about driving 6 hours? I'm not sure about that. Very natural. Now let's continue. The group chat suddenly gets louder. At least it feels that way. One friend sends 15 messages in a row. Another sends pictures. Another shares a map. And then someone says, "Maybe instead, we could visit the mountains." Listen carefully. Maybe instead. Repeat after me. Maybe instead. Again. Maybe instead. This phrase is extremely useful. It helps you suggest alternatives politely. Instead of rejecting an idea directly, you guide the conversation toward another option. Let's practice. Maybe instead we could leave later. Maybe instead we could take the train. Maybe instead we could meet on Sunday. Very natural. Very common. Now listen to a short conversation. What about camping? I'm not sure about that. Why not? It might be too cold. Fair point. Maybe instead, we could rent a cabin. Actually, that sounds fun. Notice the phrase, fair point. Listen carefully. Fair point. Repeat after me. Fair point. Again. Fair point. Native speakers use this phrase when someone makes a good argument. A reasonable point. A valid opinion. Let's practice. The drive is pretty long. Fair point. The weather might be bad. Fair point. Hotels are expensive. Fair point. Excellent. This phrase appears everywhere in natural conversation. Now imagine the discussion continues. People are sharing opinions. Some agree. Some disagree. Nobody is arguing. They're simply working together to make a decision. That's something many learners don't realize. Real English conversations often involve negotiation. Tiny negotiations. Small adjustments. Suggestions. Agreements. Disagreements. Compromises. And native speakers use soft language constantly. For example, what do you think? Good point. Fair point. Maybe. I'm not sure. That could work. Let's learn another useful phrase. That could work. Listen carefully. That could work. Repeat after me. That could work. Again. That could work. This phrase is incredibly common. It means, that's possible. That's a good option. I'm open to that idea. Let's practice. What if we leave after lunch? That could work. What if we stay overnight? That could work. What if we split the cost? That could work. Very natural. Now imagine you're sitting at your desk while all these messages continue. A boring afternoon suddenly becomes interesting. You're mentally planning the weekend. You're imagining new places, fresh air, good conversations, a break from routine. One friend suddenly sends a picture of a beautiful lakeside cabin. The chat becomes excited. Messages arrive rapidly. Wow. No way. That looks amazing. Seriously. I'd love that. Listen carefully. I'd love that. Repeat after me. I'd love that. Again. I'd love that. This is much more natural than saying, I like that. Or, I want that. Native speakers use this phrase constantly. Let's practice. Want to visit that town? I'd love that. Want to spend the day by the lake? I'd love that. Want to take a weekend trip? I'd love that. Excellent. Notice how emotionally warm it sounds. That's one reason native speakers use it so often. Now let's slow down for a moment. Take a breath. Think about your own weekends. Imagine your friends ask, "What would you like to do?" What would you answer? Maybe, "I'd love to visit the beach." Maybe, "I'd love to try a new restaurant." Maybe, "I'd love to relax at home." There isn't a right answer. The important thing is responding naturally. Every small sentence you create strengthens your ability to think directly in English. That's where fluency starts. Not in perfect grammar, not in difficult vocabulary, in small moments of real communication. Now let's practice a few useful responses together. Repeat after me. I'm up for it. I'm down for that. That sounds fun. I'm not sure about that. Fair point. Maybe instead, that could work. I'd love that. Good. Now let's say them again. This time, imagine you're texting real friends. Imagine the conversation. Imagine the emotions. I'm up for it. I'm down for that. That sounds fun. I'm not sure about that. Fair point. Maybe instead, that could work. I'd love that. Excellent. You're building conversational instincts. That's much more valuable than memorizing isolated words. The afternoon passes quickly. Emails, meetings, coffee, a few more messages from friends. Eventually, the group reaches a decision. The cabin by the lake wins. Everyone seems excited. Plans are coming together. Then, suddenly another message appears. A simple message, but one that changes the mood. Someone writes, guys. The chat immediately slows down. A few seconds later, another message appears. I think we might have a problem. Interesting. Very interesting. A few moments ago, everyone was excited. Now nobody knows what's happening. The cabin. The trip. The plan. Something unexpected has just happened. And you're about to learn how native speakers handle problems, frustration, and unexpected situations when things don't go according to plan. The group chat suddenly becomes quiet. Just a few moments ago, everyone was excited. People were sharing photos, talking about food, talking about the lake, talking about the cabin. Now everyone is staring at the same message. Guys. A few seconds pass. Then, another message appears. I think we might have a problem. Listen carefully. We might have a problem. Repeat after me. We might have a problem. Again. We might have a problem. Native speakers use this phrase constantly when something unexpected happens. Not a disaster. Not necessarily something serious. Just a problem. Just a complication. Just something that needs attention. Now repeat naturally. We might have a problem. Good. The next message arrives. The cabin is already booked. Immediately new messages start appearing. Wait, what? Seriously? No way. Listen carefully. No way. Repeat after me. No way. Again. No way. Native speakers use this expression all the time. It doesn't literally mean something is impossible. Often, it simply expresses surprise, shock, disbelief. Let's practice. No way. Again. No way. Try it with emotion. No way. Excellent. Now another message appears. Yeah. I just checked. The group chat fills with disappointed reactions. A few people send sad emojis. Someone writes, "That's frustrating." Listen carefully. That's frustrating. Repeat after me. That's frustrating. Again. That's frustrating. The word frustrating is extremely useful. Native speakers use it constantly. Not every problem is terrible. Not every problem is awful. Sometimes it's simply frustrating. A delayed train. A canceled reservation. A broken phone charger. A slow computer. A traffic jam. All of these situations can be frustrating. Let's practice. The flight was delayed. That's frustrating. The website isn't working. That's frustrating. The restaurant is full. That's frustrating. Very natural. Now, imagine you're reading the conversation. At first you're disappointed too. The cabin looked perfect. But then you remember something important. Problems happen. Plans change. And native speakers often respond with calm solutions rather than panic. One friend writes, "Let's figure it out. Listen carefully. Let's figure it out. Repeat after me. Let's figure it out. Again. Let's figure it out. One more time. Let's figure it out. This phrase is incredibly common. It means, let's solve the problem. Let's find a solution. Let's work through it together. Native speakers use it every day. At work. At home. While traveling. In relationships. Everywhere. Let's practice. The hotel canceled our reservation. Let's figure it out. The car won't start. Let's figure it out. We lost the address. Let's figure it out. Excellent. Notice how positive it sounds. Not perfect. Not dramatic. Just practical. Now imagine another friend sends a message. What if we look for another place nearby? Immediately someone replies, that could work. You've already learned that phrase. And now you're hearing it again in a real situation. This is how language becomes natural. Through repetition in context. Not memorization. Not translation. Context. Now listen to the conversation. The cabin is booked. Seriously? Yeah. I just checked. That's frustrating. Let's figure it out. What if we find another place? That could work. Simple. Natural. Real. Now, let's take this one step deeper. Imagine you're planning an actual trip. Maybe a flight. Maybe a train ride. Maybe a vacation. Unexpected problems happen all the time. And native speakers often use another very common phrase. Hopefully. Listen carefully. Hopefully. Repeat after me. Hopefully. Again. Hopefully. This word appears everywhere. Hopefully, we can find another cabin. Hopefully the weather improves. Hopefully everything works out. Very useful. Very natural. Let's practice. Hopefully we can find something. Hopefully it'll be okay. Hopefully we get there on time. Excellent. Notice how it sounds optimistic. Not certain. Not negative. Just hopeful. Now imagine the conversation continues. Someone begins searching online. Another person calls a rental company. Someone checks hotel websites. The energy changes. Instead of disappointment, people start focusing on solutions. That's something worth noticing. Native speakers often move quickly from the problem to the solution. Let's learn another useful phrase. Let me check. Listen carefully. Let me check. Repeat after me. Let me check. Again. Let me check. This phrase appears constantly in everyday English. Imagine, someone asks, do we have enough tickets? Let me check. Do we still have time? Let me check. Is the reservation confirmed? Let me check. Very common. Very useful. Now let's practice a short dialogue. Do we still have a reservation? Let me check. Can we find another place? Hopefully. This is frustrating. Yeah, but we'll figure it out. Excellent. Now imagine. 20 minutes pass. Everyone is still searching. The chat becomes quieter. People are concentrating. Looking for options. Looking for solutions. Then, suddenly a message appears. I found something. Immediately, the group becomes active again. Messages begin arriving rapidly. Really? Where? Is it available? How much is it? This creates another useful learning opportunity. Native speakers often respond with, that sounds promising. Listen carefully. That sounds promising. Repeat after me. That sounds promising. Again. That sounds promising. Promising means showing potential. Likely to be successful. Likely to work. Let's practice. The hotel has good reviews. That sounds promising. They still have availability. That sounds promising. The price isn't bad. That sounds promising. Very natural. Now imagine everyone starts looking at the new option. It's not exactly the same. It's not the beautiful lakeside cabin. But it looks comfortable. It looks relaxing. And most importantly, it's available. Someone writes, I think this might actually be better. Listen carefully. It might actually be better. Repeat after me. It might actually be better. Again. It might actually be better. Notice the word actually. Native speakers use it constantly. It often adds emphasis. It can completely change the feeling of a sentence. Let's practice. This is actually pretty nice. That's actually a good idea. It's actually not that expensive. Very common. Very natural. Now let's pause for a moment. Think about your own life. Has a plan ever gone wrong? Maybe a trip. Maybe a meeting. Maybe a project. At first, it felt frustrating. But later, something even better happened. That happens more often than people realize. And that's why phrases like, let's figure it out, hopefully, that could work, that sounds promising, are so useful. They're phrases people use when life doesn't go exactly as expected. Now repeat after me slowly. That's frustrating. Let's figure it out. Hopefully. Let me check. That sounds promising. It might actually be better. Good. Now say them again naturally. Imagine you're talking to friends. Imagine the situation. Imagine the emotions. That's frustrating. Let's figure it out. Hopefully. Let me check. That sounds promising. It might actually be better. Excellent. Every time you repeat these phrases, you're building real conversational habits. Not textbook habits. Not classroom habits. Real habits. The kind that native speakers use every day. Eventually, the group reaches a decision. The new place is booked. Everyone seems relieved. The problem is solved. The mood returns. People start joking again. Talking about food. Talking about hiking. Talking about what to bring. The excitement is back. Then another message appears. Okay, now we just need to get there. Everyone laughs. Because traveling always comes with surprises. Always. And sometimes, those surprises happen before the trip even begins. A few days later, the weekend finally arrives. Your bag is packed. Your alarm is set. You're ready to leave. The morning air feels cool and fresh. The trip is finally happening. At least, that's the plan. But as you approach the train station, you notice something strange. People are gathering around the information board. Some look confused. Some look worried. And then you see the announcement. A delay. A big one. And suddenly, a brand new situation begins. One that will teach you some of the most useful English phrases for handling travel problems, unexpected delays, and stressful situations, while staying calm and confident. The station feels different now. A few minutes ago, everyone seemed excited. People were carrying backpacks, coffee cups, travel pillows, small suitcases rolling across the floor. Now many faces look confused. Some people are staring at their phones, others are looking up at the departure board. You look up too. And there it is. Delayed. Not 15 minutes. Not 20. Almost 2 hours. You take a slow breath. Maybe you've experienced this before. A delayed train. A delayed flight. A delayed bus. Travel doesn't always go according to plan. And that's exactly why this situation is so useful for learning English. Because native speakers talk about travel problems all the time. Let's start with a very common reaction. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Listen carefully. You've got to be kidding me. Repeat after me. You've got to be kidding me. Again. You've got to be kidding me. Native speakers use this phrase when they're surprised, annoyed, or disappointed. It doesn't mean someone is actually joking. It's simply a natural reaction. Let's practice. The train is delayed. You've got to be kidding me. The flight was canceled. You've got to be kidding me. The hotel lost the reservation. You've got to be kidding me. Very natural. Very common. Now imagine one of your friends arrives at the station. She looks at the board and immediately says, well, that's not ideal. Listen carefully. That's not ideal. Repeat after me. That's not ideal. Again. That's not ideal. This is another phrase native speakers love. It's polite, calm, understated. Instead of saying, this is terrible, people often say, that's not ideal. Let's practice. The train is delayed. That's not ideal. The weather looks bad. That's not ideal. The restaurant is closed. That's not ideal. Excellent. Notice how calm it sounds. Native speakers often soften negative situations. It's part of natural conversation. Now your group gathers near a bench. People sit down. Some buy snacks. Others start checking travel apps. One friend looks worried. What if we miss the shuttle? Listen carefully. What if we miss the shuttle? Repeat after me. What if we miss the shuttle? Again. What if we miss the shuttle? The phrase, what if, is incredibly useful. It helps us talk about possibilities, concerns, future situations. Let's practice. What if it rains? What if we're late? What if we get lost? Very common. Very practical. Now, another friend responds. Let's not worry about that yet. Listen carefully. Let's not worry about that yet. Repeat after me. Let's not worry about that yet. Again. Let's not worry about that yet. This phrase is useful whenever someone is worrying too early. Native speakers use it often. It sounds calm, supportive, reasonable. Let's practice. What if we can't find parking? Let's not worry about that yet. What if traffic is bad? Let's not worry about that yet. Good. Now listen to this conversation. The train is delayed. Yeah, I saw that. That's not ideal. What if we miss the shuttle? Let's not worry about that yet. Hopefully we'll still make it. Notice how natural that sounds. Nobody is speaking perfectly. Nobody is giving speeches. Just real communication. That's the goal. A few minutes later, someone notices a small coffee shop inside the station. The line isn't too long. The smell of fresh coffee fills the air. One friend stands up. I'm going to grab a coffee. Another person immediately says, Good idea. Listen carefully. Good idea. Repeat after me. Good idea. Again. Good idea. Simple. But native speakers use it constantly. Sometimes the most useful English is also the simplest. Now let's upgrade it. That's actually a good idea. Repeat after me. That's actually a good idea. Again. That's actually a good idea. Notice the word actually again. Native speakers use it everywhere. It adds emphasis. It makes conversations sound more natural. Now imagine you're standing in line. The delay suddenly feels less stressful. People are talking, laughing, sharing stories. Sometimes delays create unexpected conversations, and that's exactly what happens next. A man heading somewhere fun. Listen carefully. Heading somewhere fun. Repeat after me. Heading somewhere fun. Again. Heading somewhere fun. Notice something important. The sentence is shortened. Native speakers often remove words. Instead of, Are you heading somewhere fun? They simply say, Heading somewhere fun. Very natural. Very conversational. You smile and answer, Yeah, we're spending the weekend by the lake. The man nods. Sounds nice. Listen carefully. Sounds nice. Repeat after me. Sounds nice. Again. Sounds nice. This phrase appears constantly in English. Sounds good. Sounds fun. Sounds great. Sounds nice. Native speakers love these short responses. Let's practice. We're going hiking. Sounds fun. We're staying in a cabin. Sounds nice. We're visiting the coast. Sounds great. Excellent. Now the conversation continues. The man asks, So, where are you guys from? And suddenly, you're having a conversation with a complete stranger. This happens more often while traveling than people expect. Travel creates opportunities. Unexpected conversations. Unexpected friendships. Unexpected stories. Let's learn another common phrase. Just out of curiosity. Listen carefully. Just out of curiosity. Repeat after me. Just out of curiosity. Again. Just out of curiosity. People use this phrase before asking a question. It makes the question feel softer, friendlier, more natural. For example, just out of curiosity, how long is the trip? Just out of curiosity, have you been there before? Just out of curiosity, what do you do for work? Very common. Now imagine the conversation continues. The stranger tells you about a beautiful hiking trail near the lake, a place your group didn't know about. Immediately everyone becomes interested. One friend says, Really, tell us more. Listen carefully. Tell us more. Repeat after me. Tell us more. Again, tell us more. This phrase shows curiosity, engagement, interest. Native speakers use it all the time. Now let's do a quick shadowing exercise. Repeat after me slowly. You've got to be kidding me. That's not ideal. What if we miss the shuttle? Let's not worry about that yet. Good idea. Sounds nice. Just out of curiosity. Tell us more. Excellent. Now say them again naturally. Imagine you're actually in the station. Imagine the delay. Imagine the conversations. Feel the situation. You've got to be kidding me. That's not ideal. What if we miss the shuttle? Let's not worry about that yet. Good idea. Sounds nice. Just out of curiosity, tell us more. Very good. You're not just learning phrases. You're learning reactions. That's one of the biggest differences between textbook English and real English. Real English is full of reactions. Small responses. Tiny emotional moments. The train delay has now become part of the experience. Something to talk about. Something to laugh about later. And surprisingly, nobody seems upset anymore. People are relaxed. Talking. Drinking coffee. Sharing stories. Sometimes the best travel memories begin with unexpected problems. An hour later, an announcement finally echoes through the station. Passengers begin standing up. People gather their bags. The train is arriving. A wave of excitement moves through the crowd. The trip is finally starting. As everyone boards the train, you find your seat by the window. The city slowly disappears behind you. Buildings become fields. Roads become forests. The atmosphere changes. The noise of the station fades away. A peaceful feeling settles in. One of your friends leans over and smiles. You know that delay wasn't so bad after all. You laugh. Yeah, I guess everything worked out. Listen carefully. Everything worked out. Repeat after me. Everything worked out. Again. Everything worked out. This phrase means everything ended well. Everything was okay in the end. The problem was solved. Native speakers use this phrase constantly. Let's practice. The trip was delayed, but everything worked out. The meeting was stressful, but everything worked out. We got lost, but everything worked out. Excellent. The train continues moving through the countryside. The view outside becomes more beautiful with every mile. The weekend adventure is finally beginning. And very soon, you'll arrive at a place where you'll meet new people, start unexpected conversations, and learn some of the most useful English phrases for making connections naturally with strangers. The train slows down as it approaches the station near the lake. Outside the window, the scenery looks completely different from the city. Tall trees stretch toward the sky. The air looks cleaner. The roads are quieter. Even from inside the train, you can feel the slower pace. After a busy week of work, meetings, emails, and schedules, this feels different. It feels peaceful. A few minutes later, everyone steps off the train. People stretch, grab their bags, look around, and smile. The weekend has officially begun. As your group walks toward the shuttle stop, you notice something interesting. Travel has a way of changing people. People who seem busy and serious in everyday life suddenly become more relaxed, more open, more willing to talk, more willing to connect. And that's exactly what happens next. While waiting for the shuttle, a woman standing nearby notices your backpack. That's a great backpack. You smile. And suddenly, you're having a conversation with someone you've never met before. This is one of the most useful skills in English. Making small talk. Starting conversations. Naturally. Connecting with people. Let's learn some phrases native speakers use all the time. The first one is simple. Thanks. I appreciate it. Listen carefully. I appreciate it. Repeat after me. I appreciate it. Again. I appreciate it. Many learners only use thank you, and that's perfectly fine. But native speakers often say, I appreciate it. It sounds warm, friendly, natural. Let's practice. Nice presentation. Thanks. I appreciate it. I like your jacket. Thanks. I appreciate it. You were really helpful. I appreciate it. Excellent. Now the conversation continues. The woman points toward the lake. First time here. Listen carefully. First time here. Repeat after me. First time here. Again. First time here. Notice how native speakers often shorten questions. Instead of, is this your first time here? They simply say, first time here. Very common. Very conversational. You smile. Actually, yeah. Listen carefully. Actually, yeah. Repeat after me. Actually, yeah. Again. Actually, yeah. This sounds much more natural than simply saying, yes. Let's continue. Actually, yeah. My friends and I are spending the weekend here. Oh, you're going to love it. Listen carefully. You're going to love it. Repeat after me. You're going to love it. Again. You're going to love it. Native speakers say this whenever they feel confident you'll enjoy something. A city, a restaurant, a movie, a place. Very common. Let's practice. You're going to love this cafe. You're going to love the view. You're going to love the hiking trails. Excellent. A few moments later, the shuttle arrives. Everyone climbs aboard. The ride is short. The road winds through trees and small hills. The lake appears through the branches now and then. Beautiful, calm, quiet. One of your friends looks out the window and says, "Wow, this place is gorgeous." Listen carefully. This place is gorgeous. Repeat after me. This place is gorgeous. Again, this place is gorgeous. Native speakers use gorgeous all the time. Not only for people, for places, views, sunsets, buildings, nature, anything beautiful. Let's practice. The beach is gorgeous. The view is gorgeous. The sunset is gorgeous. Very natural. As the shuttle arrives at the cabin area, everyone starts unloading bags. People are laughing, taking photos, stretching after the trip. The atmosphere feels light, excited, relaxed. And then something interesting happens. A neighboring group waves. Someone says, "Hey, how's it going?" Listen carefully. How's it going? Repeat after me. How's it going? Again. How's it going? This phrase is one of the most common greetings in spoken English. Native speakers use it every day, sometimes several times a day. Let's practice. How's it going? Pretty good. How's it going? Can't complain. How's it going? Doing well. Excellent. Notice how natural these responses sound. Now imagine the conversation continues. How's it going? Pretty good. We just got here. Nice. Where are you guys from? We're from the city. Cool. We came up yesterday. Simple. Natural. Real. Nobody is trying to impress anyone. Nobody is using difficult words. Just communication. That's what fluency feels like. A little later, everyone gathers near the lakeshore. The water is calm. The sunlight reflects off the surface. A few boats move slowly across the lake. The atmosphere feels completely different from the city. One of your new acquaintances points toward a hiking trail. You should check that out tomorrow. Listen carefully. You should check that out. Repeat after me. You should check that out. Again. You should check that out. This phrase is extremely common. It means, you should see it. You should try it. You should visit it. Native speakers use it constantly when making recommendations. Let's practice. You should check out that restaurant. You should check out that trail. You should check out the local market. Very useful. Very natural. Now imagine someone asks you a question. So, what do you usually do for fun? This is a common small talk question, and it's useful to know how native speakers answer. A basic answer might be, "I like reading." But let's make it more natural. You could say, "I'm really into reading these days." Listen carefully. I'm really into reading these days. Repeat after me. I'm really into reading these days. Again. I'm really into reading these days. The phrase, "I'm really into," is extremely common. Let's practice. I'm really into hiking these days. I'm really into photography. I'm really into cooking lately. Excellent. Now let's continue the conversation. What do you do for fun? I'm really into hiking these days. Nice. I've been trying to get into hiking myself. Listen carefully. I've been trying to get into hiking. Repeat after me. I've been trying to get into hiking. Again. I've been trying to get into hiking. The phrase "get into" means become interested in, start enjoying, become involved in. Very common. Let's practice. I've been trying to get into yoga. I've been trying to get into photography. I've been trying to get into gardening. Excellent. Notice how naturally the conversation flows. One topic leads to another. One sentence creates another question. That's exactly how real conversations work. You don't need perfect English. You need curiosity. You need connection. You need simple, natural phrases. Now take a moment. Think about yourself. What are you into these days? Reading, music, fitness, Movies. Travel. Now, answer quietly in your mind. I'm really into. Good. Every time you create a sentence like that, you're training your brain to respond naturally. That's real progress. As the afternoon continues, people become more comfortable with each other. Strangers start feeling less like strangers. Conversations become easier. Laughter becomes more frequent. One person tells a funny story about getting lost during a road trip. Another talks about accidentally boarding the wrong train. Everyone laughs. Someone says, "That must have been awkward." Listen carefully. That must have been awkward. Repeat after me. That must have been awkward. Again. That must have been awkward. Native speakers use this phrase when imagining how someone felt. Let's practice. You forgot their name. That must have been awkward. You walked into the wrong meeting. That must have been awkward. You sent the message to the wrong person. That must have been awkward. Very common. Very conversational. As the sun slowly begins moving lower in the sky, the energy changes again. The excitement of arrival starts giving way to something calmer, something softer. People begin thinking about dinner, about relaxing, about the evening ahead. The lake becomes quieter. The air becomes cooler. The pace slows down. And after a day filled with travel conversations and new connections, a different kind of English becomes important. The English we use when reflecting, when talking about our feelings, when talking about gratitude, when talking about experiences that matter. As you sit near the water, watching the sunlight dance across the lake, you realize something. The weekend is only beginning, but already it feels worth the trip. And the next conversation will help you express something many English learners struggle to say naturally: how you feel at the end of a meaningful day. The lake grows quieter as the evening settles in. The bright energy of the afternoon begins to fade. The boats move more slowly now. The sky turns shades of orange, pink, and gold. A gentle breeze moves across the water. Some people are still talking near the cabins. Others are sitting quietly, enjoying the view. You take a deep breath. And for the first time all week, you feel completely present. No meetings. No deadlines. No rushing. Just this moment. Maybe you've experienced a moment like this before. A moment when you suddenly realize how tired you've been. Not physically. Mentally. Emotionally. And then you finally get a chance to slow down. This is exactly the kind of situation where native speakers use emotional vocabulary naturally. Not dramatic vocabulary. Not complicated vocabulary. Just honest words that describe how they feel. One of your friends sits down beside you. For a few seconds, neither of you says anything. You both watch the sunset. Then your friend smiles and says, "This was exactly what I needed." Listen carefully. This was exactly what I needed. Repeat after me. This was exactly what I needed. Again. This was exactly what I needed. Native speakers use this phrase constantly. After a vacation. After a good conversation. After spending time with friends. After a stressful week. Let's practice. That break was exactly what I needed. This weekend was exactly what I needed. That walk was exactly what I needed. Excellent. Notice how natural it sounds. Now imagine your friend continues. Honestly, I didn't realize how stressed I was. Listen carefully. I didn't realize how stressed I was. Repeat after me. I didn't realize how stressed I was. Again. I didn't realize how stressed I was. This is a very common way to talk about self-awareness. Native speakers often realize things only after they step away from their routines. Let's practice. I didn't realize how tired I was. I didn't realize how busy I'd been. I didn't realize how much I needed a break. Very natural. Very human. Now imagine. Another friend joins the conversation. She sits down and stretches. What a day. Listen carefully. What a day. Repeat after me. What a day. Again. What a day. This phrase can express many emotions. Exhaustion. Excitement. Relief. Surprise. It depends on the tone. Let's practice. What a day. Again. What a day. Now say it softly. What a day. Excellent. Native speakers use short emotional reactions like this all the time. Now let's continue. Your friend looks out across the lake, then says, "I'm exhausted but in a good way." Listen carefully. I'm exhausted, but in a good way. Repeat after me. I'm exhausted, but in a good way. Again. I'm exhausted, but in a good way. Notice something important. Native speakers often add context to emotions. Not just, I'm exhausted, but, I'm exhausted, but in a good way. Let's practice. I'm tired, but in a good way. I'm sore, but in a good way. I'm exhausted, but in a good way. Very natural. Very conversational. Now let's learn another useful word. Fulfilled. Listen carefully. Fulfilled. Repeat after me. Fulfilled. Again. Fulfilled. Fulfilled means deeply satisfied. Not because something was easy, but because it was meaningful. Let's practice. I feel fulfilled. Again. I feel fulfilled. One more time. I feel fulfilled. Now let's make it more natural. I feel tired but fulfilled. Repeat. I feel tired but fulfilled. Again. I feel tired but fulfilled. Excellent. This is something native speakers often say after achieving something important, after finishing a project, after helping someone, after spending meaningful time with friends. Now imagine the conversation continues. What a day. I know. I'm exhausted, but in a good way. Same here. Honestly, I feel pretty fulfilled. Yeah, me too. Simple, natural, real. Notice how nobody is speaking in long paragraphs. Real conversations are built from small pieces, and that's good news for English learners. Because fluency isn't about speaking for 10 minutes. It's about responding naturally. One sentence at a time. Now, let's pause for a moment. Look around. Imagine yourself sitting by the lake. The sky is getting darker. The air feels cooler. The sounds of the day are fading. How do you feel? Now answer quietly in your mind. Maybe. I feel relaxed. Maybe. I feel grateful. Maybe. I feel happy. Maybe. I feel fulfilled. Good. Every sentence you create strengthens your ability to think in English. And that's what we're practicing. Not memorization. Thinking. Let's continue. One friend stands up and points toward the horizon. The last light of the sunset is disappearing. For a few seconds, everyone becomes quiet. Then someone says, I'm really glad we came. Listen carefully. I'm really glad we came. Repeat after me. I'm really glad we came. Again. I'm really glad we came. Native speakers use I'm glad constantly. It's one of the most useful emotional expressions in English. Let's practice. I'm glad I came. I'm glad we talked. I'm glad we did this. I'm glad everything worked out. Excellent. Now let's learn another phrase. Worth it. Listen carefully. Worth it. Repeat after me. Worth it. Again. Worth it. Native speakers love this phrase. It means, the effort was worthwhile. The experience justified the cost or difficulty. Let's practice. The hike was worth it. The trip was worth it. The wait was worth it. Excellent. Now let's put it into a natural sentence. The train delay was annoying, but the trip was worth it. Repeat after me. The train delay was annoying, but the trip was worth it. Again. The train delay was annoying, but the trip was worth it. Very natural. Very common. Now imagine one of your friends laughs. Remember how worried we were at the station? Everyone laughs. It's true. The delay felt important at the time. Now it feels insignificant. That's something interesting about life. Many problems seem huge in the moment. Then later they become stories. Native speakers often express this idea using a simple phrase. It all worked out. Listen carefully. It all worked out. Repeat after me. It all worked out. Again. It all worked out. Very useful. Very common. Let's practice. The project was stressful, but it all worked out. The trip was complicated, but it all worked out. Things weren't perfect, but it all worked out. Excellent. Now, let's do a short shadowing exercise. Repeat after me slowly. This was exactly what I needed. I didn't realize how stressed I was. What a day. I'm exhausted, but in a good way. I feel fulfilled. I'm really glad we came. It was worth it. It all worked out. Good. Now, say them again naturally. Imagine you're actually there. Imagine the lake, the sunset, the feeling of relief. This was exactly what I needed. I didn't realize how stressed I was. What a day. I'm exhausted, but in a good way. I feel fulfilled. I'm really glad we came. It was worth it. It all worked out. Excellent. Notice how different this vocabulary feels from workplace vocabulary or travel vocabulary. This is emotional English, the kind native speakers use when reflecting on experiences, the kind that helps conversations feel deeper, more personal, more meaningful. As darkness slowly settles over the lake, people begin heading back toward the cabins. Some carry mugs of hot chocolate. Others continue chatting quietly. The pace of the day slows even further. You walk back with your friends. The path is lit by small lights. The air smells like pine trees. The evening feels peaceful. As you reach the cabin, someone checks their phone. A new message has arrived. At first, nobody pays much attention. Then they read it again. And suddenly, their expression changes. Interesting. Very interesting. The message isn't about the trip. It's not about the lake. It's not even about the weekend. It's about work. A message that could lead to a new opportunity. A message that requires confidence, clear communication, and the ability to talk about yourself naturally in English. Tomorrow you'll step into a completely different situation, one that many English learners find challenging. A professional conversation where first impressions matter. And you'll learn exactly how native speakers talk about their experience, strengths, goals, and future plans with confidence and authenticity. The cabin is quiet. Outside the lake is almost completely dark now. A few distant lights reflect softly on the water. The conversations from earlier have faded. Most people are relaxing. Some are reading. Some are scrolling through their phones. Others are simply enjoying the silence. You sit comfortably in a chair near the window. The kind of moment that feels calm. The kind of moment that rarely happens during a busy work week. Then your phone vibrates. At first, you almost ignore it. You assume it's another group message. Maybe a photo from today. Maybe a joke. Maybe a reminder about breakfast tomorrow. But when you look at the screen, something catches your attention. It's an email. From someone at a company you've spoken with before. A company you were interested in. A company you interviewed with several weeks ago. You open the message. Your eyes move quickly across the first few lines. Then suddenly, your heart beats a little faster. The message says, "We'd like to move forward with the next step." For a second, you read it again, just to make sure. Then again, a smile slowly appears. Because sometimes good news arrives when you least expect it. Maybe you've experienced that feeling before. A phone call, a message, an email, something you've been waiting for, something important, and suddenly, everything changes. Let's learn how native speakers naturally talk about moments like this. The first phrase is simple. This is exciting. Listen carefully. This is exciting. Repeat after me. This is exciting. Again. This is exciting. Native speakers use this constantly when something positive happens. A new opportunity. A trip. A promotion. A new project. A new relationship. Let's practice. This is exciting. Again. This is exciting. Now try it with emotion. This is exciting. Excellent. Notice how natural it feels. Now imagine one of your friends notices your reaction. Everything okay? You look up and say, "Actually, I just got some good news." Listen carefully. I just got some good news. Repeat after me. I just got some good news. Again. I just got some good news. This phrase is extremely common. Native speakers often share positive news this way. Let's practice. I just got some good news. I just heard some good news. I just found out some good news. Excellent. Now imagine your friends immediately become curious. Really? What happened? You smile. The company wants to move forward. Listen carefully. They want to move forward. Repeat after me. They want to move forward. Again. They want to move forward. This phrase appears often in professional conversations. It means, continue the process. Proceed. Take the next step. Very useful. Now let's continue. One friend immediately responds, "That's amazing." Listen carefully. That's amazing. Repeat after me. That's amazing. Again. That's amazing. Native speakers use this phrase constantly. Simple, positive, natural. Let's practice. That's amazing. That's great. That's awesome. Excellent. Now imagine the conversation continues. The room feels different now. The evening already felt good. Now it feels even better. One friend asks, "Were you expecting that?" You think for a moment. Then answer, "Honestly, not really." Listen carefully. "Honestly, not really." Repeat after me. "Honestly, not really." Again. "Honestly, not really." This is a very natural response. Native speakers often use honestly to introduce genuine feelings. Let's practice. Honestly, I wasn't sure. Honestly, I didn't expect it. Honestly, I'm surprised. Very common. Very conversational. Now let's learn another useful word. Relieved. Listen carefully. Relieved. Repeat after me. Relieved. Again. Relieved. Relieved means a worry has disappeared. A stress has lifted. A concern has gone away. Let's practice. I feel relieved. Again. I feel relieved. One more time. I feel relieved. Now let's make it more natural. I'm excited, but honestly, I'm also relieved. Repeat after me. I'm excited, but honestly, I'm also relieved. Again. I'm excited, but honestly, I'm also relieved. Excellent. This is exactly how many native speakers talk about good news. Emotions are often mixed. Excitement, relief, gratitude, pride, all at the same time. Now imagine another friend asks, "Did you think you'd get it?" You pause and answer, "I wasn't sure." Listen carefully. "I wasn't sure." Repeat after me. "I wasn't sure." Again. "I wasn't sure." This phrase is incredibly useful. Native speakers use it constantly. Let's practice. Did you think it would work? I wasn't sure. Did you think they would call? I wasn't sure. Did you expect that? I wasn't sure. Very natural. Now let's continue. One friend smiles and says, "You worked really hard for this." And suddenly, you feel something else. Pride. Not arrogance. Not ego. Just pride. The quiet satisfaction that comes from effort. Let's learn a phrase native speakers use. I'm proud of myself. Listen carefully. I'm proud of myself. Repeat after me. I'm proud of myself. Again. I'm proud of myself. Many learners avoid saying this. But native speakers use it often in healthy ways. When they've achieved something meaningful. Let's practice. I'm proud of myself. Again. I'm proud of myself. Now let's make it more natural. I'm proud of myself for sticking with it. Listen carefully. Sticking with it. Repeat after me. Sticking with it. Again. Sticking with it. This phrase means continuing, not giving up, persisting. Very useful. Let's practice. I kept going. I stuck with it. I didn't quit. I stuck with it. Excellent. Now listen to this conversation. You got the email. Yeah. That's amazing. Honestly, I'm surprised. You should be proud of yourself. Thanks. I'm excited, but honestly, I'm also relieved. That sounds exactly like a real conversation. Simple, supportive, natural. Now let's pause for a moment. Think about something you've achieved in your own life. Big or small. Maybe you learned a new skill, finished a project, reached a goal, solved a difficult problem. Think about it. Now, answer quietly in your mind. How would you describe that feeling? Maybe, I felt proud of myself. Maybe, I felt relieved. Maybe, I felt excited. Maybe, I felt grateful. Good. Every emotional sentence you create helps you think more naturally in English. That's how fluency develops. One real feeling at a time. Now let's continue. The conversation around the cabin becomes warmer. People share stories. One friend talks about getting a promotion. Another talks about finishing a degree. Another talks about overcoming a challenge. And something interesting happens. Nobody is competing. Nobody is comparing. People are simply celebrating each other's successes. One friend raises a mug of hot chocolate. Here's to good news. Everyone laughs. Listen carefully. Here's to good news. Repeat after me. Here's to good news. Again. Here's to good news. Native speakers use here's to during celebrations. Let's practice. Here's to friendship. Here's to new opportunities. Here's to a great weekend. Excellent. Now, let's do a shadowing exercise. Repeat after me slowly. This is exciting. I just got some good news. They want to move forward. That's amazing. Honestly, not really. I feel relieved. I wasn't sure. I'm proud of myself. I stuck with it. Here's to good news. Excellent. Now say them again naturally. Imagine you're sitting in the cabin. Imagine the message. Imagine the emotions. This is exciting. I just got some good news. They want to move forward. That's amazing. Honestly, not really. I feel relieved. I wasn't sure. I'm proud of myself. I stuck with it. Here's to good news. Very good. Notice something important. You're no longer learning isolated words. You're learning emotional experiences, real situations, real reactions. The kind of English that stays in your memory because it's connected to feelings. And that's powerful. Outside, the stars begin appearing above the lake. The cabin grows quieter. One by one, people begin heading to bed. Tomorrow will bring another day of hiking conversations and adventure. But before you fall asleep, you find yourself thinking about something. The delayed train. The canceled cabin. The unexpected conversations. The new friendships. The good news. None of it was planned. Yet somehow, it all led to something memorable. As you set your phone down and turn off the light, one thought stays with you. Sometimes, the best experiences happen when things don't go exactly as expected. And tomorrow morning, as the sun rises over the lake, you'll discover one final lesson. A lesson about confidence, growth, and the surprising moment when you realize you're no longer just learning English. You're actually living it. The next morning arrives quietly. Long before most people wake up, soft sunlight begins spreading across the lake. The water is perfectly still. The air feels cool and fresh. Birds move through the trees. Somewhere in the distance, a boat engine hums softly. The world feels calm. You open your eyes slowly. For a moment, you forget where you are. Then you remember. The trip, the lake, the conversations, the unexpected delays, the laughter, the good news, everything. And something feels different. Not dramatically different. Just lighter, clearer, more relaxed. Maybe you've experienced this feeling before. After stepping away from your routine. After spending time with good people. After giving yourself space to breathe. You sit up and look out the window. The lake shines in the morning light. And almost without thinking, you say, "This is nice." Listen carefully. This is nice. Repeat after me. This is nice. Again. This is nice. Simple. Natural. Real. Sometimes learners search for complicated vocabulary, but native speakers often use very simple words. Nice. Good. Great. Beautiful. Amazing. The secret isn't complexity. The secret is using the right phrase naturally. Now let's upgrade it. This is exactly where I want to be right now. Listen carefully. This is exactly where I want to be right now. Repeat after me. This is exactly where I want to be right now. Again. This is exactly where I want to be right now. Excellent. This phrase expresses contentment, satisfaction, being fully present. Very useful. Very natural. A few minutes later, you walk outside with a cup of coffee. The morning air feels refreshing. One of your friends is already sitting near the water. You walk over. Morning. Morning. A comfortable silence follows. Then your friend smiles. You seem different today. You laugh. Different how? I don't know. More relaxed. You think about it for a moment. Then you answer, "Yeah, I guess I am." Listen carefully. I guess I am. Repeat after me. I guess I am. Again. I guess I am. Native speakers use I guess constantly. It softens statements, makes them sound conversational. Let's practice. Are you excited? I guess I am. Do you feel better? I guess I do. Do you like this place? Yeah, I guess I do. Excellent. Now let's continue. Your friend takes a sip of coffee. You've been speaking more confidently too. That makes you pause. Because maybe it's true. Throughout the weekend, you've talked with friends, strangers, travelers. staff members, people at the station, people at the lake. Without realizing it, you've been using English naturally. Not perfectly, but naturally. And that's an important difference. Many learners believe fluency arrives all at once, like a switch turning on. But that's not how it happens. Usually, it happens quietly, little by little, conversation by conversation, sentence by sentence, until one day you realize something. You're communicating, you're connecting, you're thinking, without translating every word. Let's learn a useful phrase. It's getting easier. Listen carefully. It's getting easier. Repeat after me. It's getting easier. Again. It's getting easier. This phrase is powerful because it recognizes progress. Not perfection. Progress. Let's practice. English is getting easier. Conversations are getting easier. Listening is getting easier. Excellent. Now let's upgrade it. I'm starting to feel more comfortable. Listen carefully. I'm starting to feel more comfortable. Repeat after me. I'm starting to feel more comfortable. Again. I'm starting to feel more comfortable. Very natural. Very common. Native speakers often describe growth this way. Not with huge dramatic statements, but with small observations. I'm getting better. I'm improving. I'm feeling more comfortable. Now imagine the conversation continues. Do you think your English is improving? Honestly, yeah. It's getting easier. That's great. I'm starting to feel more comfortable speaking. Notice how natural that sounds. Simple. Relaxed. Real. Now let's pause for a moment. Think about your own English journey. Maybe you're not where you want to be yet. That's okay. Maybe you still hesitate. That's okay too. The question isn't, am I perfect? The question is, am I improving? And if the answer is yes, then you're moving in the right direction. Every sentence matters. Every conversation matters. Every listening session matters. Let's learn another useful phrase. I'm making progress. Listen carefully. I'm making progress. Repeat after me. I'm making progress. Again. I'm making progress. Very common. Very motivating. Native speakers use this phrase in many situations. Fitness. Work. Learning. Life. Let's practice. I'm making progress. Again. I'm making progress. One more time. I'm making progress. Excellent. Now imagine everyone gathers outside for breakfast. The atmosphere is relaxed. People are sharing stories from yesterday. Talking about the hike. Talking about the train delay. Talking about the email. Talking about the weekend. One friend laughs. You know what's funny? What? If the original cabin hadn't been canceled, none of this would have happened. Everyone thinks about that. And it's true. The delay. The new cabin. The people you met. The conversations. The good news. All of it came from unexpected changes. Sometimes life works that way. Let's learn a phrase native speakers often use. Everything happens for a reason. Listen carefully. Everything happens for a reason. Repeat after me. Everything happens for a reason. Again. Everything happens for a reason. Some people say this often. Others don't. But you'll hear it frequently in English conversations, especially after unexpected events. Now imagine someone says, maybe everything happens for a reason, and another person responds, maybe. Listen carefully. Maybe. Repeat after me. Maybe. Again. Maybe. Notice how natural uncertainty sounds. Native speakers don't always need strong opinions. Sometimes, maybe is enough. Now, let's do a final shadowing exercise. Repeat after me slowly. This is nice. This is exactly where I want to be right now. I guess I am. It's getting easier. I'm starting to feel more comfortable. I'm making progress. Everything happens for a reason. Maybe? Good. Now say them again naturally. Imagine you're sitting by the lake. Imagine the calm morning. Imagine the feeling of growth. This is nice. This is exactly where I want to be right now. I guess I am. It's getting easier. I'm starting to feel more comfortable. I'm making progress. Everything happens for a reason. Maybe. Excellent. Now notice something important. Many of these phrases aren't difficult. They're not advanced vocabulary. They're not complicated grammar. But they are real. And real language is what creates fluency. Native speakers don't spend their days trying to sound impressive. They spend their days communicating, sharing ideas, sharing feelings, sharing experiences. That's exactly what you've been practicing throughout this entire journey, from the first cup of coffee in the morning, to workplace conversations, to lunch with a friend, to planning a trip, to solving problems, to meeting new people, to reflecting on meaningful experiences, to receiving good news, and finally, to recognizing your own growth. Before we finish, let's do one last thing. Take a moment and think about your own day. Your real day, not an imaginary one. Your actual life. Now, create one sentence in English. Just one. It doesn't need to be perfect. It doesn't need to be complicated. Maybe, I'm feeling pretty good today. Maybe, I'm a little tired but I'm doing okay. Maybe, I'm making progress. Maybe, this lesson helped me feel more confident. Whatever sentence comes to mind, say it quietly. Good! That's English. Not perfection. Communication. And every small sentence you create is helping your brain think more naturally. Thank you for spending this time with me here on Relaxing English Listening. If you enjoyed this lesson, come back and listen again. The more often you hear natural English, the more natural it becomes. And if you'd like, leave a simple English sentence in the comments. Just one sentence about your day. Keep it simple. Keep it real. Keep practicing, because little by little, sentence by sentence, conversation by conversation, you're building something valuable. You're no longer just learning English. You're learning how to live in English, and that's where real confidence begins. Until next time, take care, keep listening, keep speaking, and keep moving forward. You're making progress, one conversation at a time.